Hi, it's Kim from the Hypertufa Gardener, and I hope you visited my website and like a lot of the posts and everything. Almost every one of my posts these days has an accompanying video, so be sure to watch those. Today what we're going to do is plant my little taco plant. That's what it looks like to me. It's a Peperomia, and I'll put the scientific name here at the top of the screen. But that little Peperomia has the little glass windows. It's grown hugely since I got it, as you can see. So we're going to put it in Hypertufa. Now this is the small Hypertufa pot that I'm going to plant the plant in. This is an old one. You can see it's aged and weathered. It has a big giant hole in it that I'm going to put a coffee filter around. But that'll be for my little Peperomia plant, my taco plant. I think she'll do real well in this. Okay, now the first thing I'll need to do is to cover the hole in the bottom. I use a coffee filter. And then I've got some cactus potting soil. And this is so tiny, it's not going to need much. But I'll get some down in there. And I'll make sure it's packed a little bit tight. Depending on how much there is of this, I may need to remove a little bit of it. I'm planning to do 2 plants if things go right here, but this little taco plant may outgrow this real quickly. That would be a wonderful thing. But let me squeeze it, and you can see how nice the roots are. I think it's growing real well, and I'm just going to tease the root ball a little. And I know there's opinions for and against doing that. I like to do it because I've unearthed so many plants that have the root ball still intact in a little tight wad like that at the end of the season. So here we go. Yeah, that puts it just about the same height in the pot as it was previously. And let me put some tiny little bit of the soil around it. Here we go. I'll press that in because we want her to have a firm foothold in the new pot. She had that light little nursery pot that's so light that she was getting top heavy. She'd blow away in the breeze, or at least upend herself. But luckily she's remaining intact and looks pretty good and healthy for me. Okay, I think that looks good. I may put a few little rocks on the soil as a top dressing, but I think she looks real good. Now I won't water her until tomorrow morning, but let's find her a spot out here on the deck. I think she looks really good. She is very much taller than she was at first. I'll link back to the old post so you can see how much she's grown. But now she's in Hypertufa. And we've got one more plant to plant. And stick around, I've got that right behind me. Okay, now continuing on, I've got a gorgeous blue container. You may have seen that in previous videos because my containers are used and reused often. But it has the drainage. That's pretty important. And what we're going to put in it is this plant that I had not seen before, at least that I can recall. And it is another Pilea. I have a thing for Pilea, and it is called Pilea microphylla, the artillery plant. Let me let you get a good look at it. You can see those tiny little flowers. They're pretty insignificant. They've changed a little and are turning brown. But supposedly those little things, when they set seed, the reason it's called the artillery plant is because they just shoot. Well, you know, I don't know how far they're going to shoot and what they're going to go into, but I figured let's try this out. It is in zone 10 to 12 is where it'll grow outside, and of course being in zone 6, this is not going to be an outdoor plant for me. But let's get, okay, I'm using the cactus soil. It's just going to take a little bit for her. And this particular pot does have a saucer, so no problem with her having drainage and something to drain into. Now you can see she's popping apart pretty easily. I'm going to take some of this hard peat that she's planted in and break it up because it's formed a hard crust that I don't think would allow moisture to get down to her very well. These nursery planted plants that are in something like that, you really have to be careful that they can still absorb. Okay, so here we go. Let me see, that looks about level. Okay, and let me add more soil. There we go. Now that she'll stand up on her own. A little bit more. There. Now, I think that looks real good. And I'm going to water her because she was pretty dry in there. So there we go with another Pilea. There's just something about the Pilea and the Peperomia that I just love. So I'm more than willing, when it says it's a Pilea, it's going home with me. So that looks pretty good. I think I really like that. So I'll set her out here on the deck. Let me give you a close-up. I think she's going to look really nice in this blue planter. And we'll see if she starts shooting her artillery all over the place. Okay, just a minute. We've got to do this in threes. So I've got one more plant to take care of. Now I've got this plant. It is, of course, another Peperomia. I think this one, if I'm remembering correctly, is the obtusifolia. And it is kind of, I don't know, mini rubber plant, I think is some of the names for it. And it's real pretty, real full, and nice big rounded leaves, as you can see. And it's not a real huge plant, but it can grow a lot bigger. So what I've chosen to plant it in is this plastic pot. I had that as a discard. Another one of the plants came in it, but I don't remember what. But it's kind of pretty with a bronzish look, but it is plastic. And of course, a lot of these plastic plant pots don't have drainage in them. But that's no problem. I don't know if you've seen the little garden hints video that I've put up. I'll link to it up here, where it takes 5 seconds to get a hole in it. And then there you go. you've got your drainage just like you need it. So let's put our coffee filter over the hole so our water won't go out the hole. And then here we go with the soil. Now I'm using, of course, the cactus soil on this one, since this is a succulent plant and we want very well draining soil so that the roots can drain freely and not be sitting in moist soil. Now look at the root growth on that. It really looks good. So good. I like that. And of course it's in the peat, and that is just gonna crumble off. Get a little bit out of the top. In fact, I've got 3 plants here. 3 good-sized plants. I don't know if you can see that. I could pull those apart, but that'll happen next year when we're wanting to make more plants. So let me see if I need a little more off. No, that looks just right. That's going to make a real cute pot for this, I think. Okay. Let's get the soil around it. Nothing much to planting a little plant. You just have to plant it in a pot of a good size for this particular plant that you're planting, and then the right kind of soil. And if I were planting one of my succulent hens and chicks, I'd add a lot of extra turkey grit, pumice, whatever, to make sure that it had super excellent drainage. But I think just the straight cactus soil is going to be perfect for this one. Okay, and there it is, all nice and planted. I think it looks really good. So there we go with our 3rd plant with drainage. Be sure to catch that tip about how to do it. But that's all. That'll be enough for this video. And please show me some comments. If you have any kind of advice for me or any questions, just be sure to put those under the video. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like, and stick around and watch more videos. Thanks for watching.